Are pharmaceutical companies active participants in the management of misuse and overuse, or are they financial companies trying to sell their products? I mean, obviously they report to investors, but they also report to clinicians and patients. And how do you feel as a clinician about that dynamic in the marketplace?
So I see them as partners. I mean, at our institution, they've always been an extension of what I do. I can't be everywhere. So, they come and would educate our physicians, but I make sure their message is consistent with our message. So sometimes they might have an antibiotic that has 5 FDA approved indications, but at my hospital, I only want it used for this one indication. And so we partner, and they're an extension of really our marketing to our own physicians. This is the way this antibiotic is going to be used at our hospital. And it's the best way because I match it with what our organisms are in our hospital. And that differs everywhere. So we are reliant. I mean, they're the ones who discover the drugs. Without pharmaceutical companies, we have no products. And that is part of the problem right now. They are companies that have to make a profit. And antibiotics are not profitable antibiotics. Actually, from a marketing perspective or a business perspective, they're a really poor drug to select.
Well, most of them are off patent, right? A lot of the mainstream cephalosporins, beta-lactams, even the quinolones, they're not on patent.
Right.
So there isn't a lot of marketing pressure to drive use or support use or, justify use.
Right.
So you talked about being a psychiatrist or a psychologist. You can pick whichever one you want. So to me, it's very interesting because in the hospital, there's a bit of hegemony. There's a control structure. How does that work?
Oh.
Because, there's the ID.
That's why I should have gotten that degree.
There's the ID. There's the GP. There's the chief of medicine.
Right.
There's the pharmacist and the emerging role of the pharmacist, which is important.
Yeah.
Do they play nice in the sandbox? Is there ways of sort of evolving that relationship?
So there's clearly a hierarchy, and I work globally, and I see that even more prevalent. So in the United States, we really work as partners. So I work with infectious disease physicians, and we're a team. So when we make patient care rounds, it's the physician, it's the clinical pharmacist, it's the nurse, it's the medical student, pharmacy student, the residents. We are one big team. And so we do work collaboratively, but let's be honest, the physician is legally responsible for the patient. So I consult and I give them my best advice. And the pharmacist, we're a key integral part of patient care because we're the drug therapy experts.
But I wonder because, collaboration in the context of antimicrobial stewardship, I think is a little dangerous. If you want a White House and I want a Red House, is the solution, the collaborative solution, a pink house?
So that's a good analogy. I mean, antibiotic stewardship only works if there is collaboration. If I go and try to tell my surgeons, you cannot do this any longer, and I just give them a set of rules, I already know that's not going to work. Because nobody wants to just be told, what you've been doing for 20 years, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to change it up, unless they understand your motivation. And so I always go in for collaboration. Bring them to the table, whatever group I'm talking with, whether it be surgeons, the hospitalist, the critical care physicians, and say, here's the problem. We have this escalating antimicrobial resistance in your unit, and I bring factual data. Here are the last 100 patients we've treated, and here has been their outcome with the antibiotic you've been selecting. So at this point in time, we have to make a game change, and this is what I'm recommending. And then I stop and listen to them.
But just in my limited clinical experience about the surgical mentality, they do everything and know nothing. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying that.
Oh, you will.
And the medical guys, they know everything and they do nothing. And is there a method to the madness?
There is. I mean, how I work and speak with surgeons are different. Surgeons, and I've worked a lot. I have a lot of respect for them, and it's mutual. We work well together. But they're very much in the moment. Tell me right now, very quick. And they want sound bites. They don't want a dissertation of why is this antibiotic, what I'm recommending, and here's the mechanism of action. And they're like, just tell me what I need to know, what I need to prescribe, and why. So they want to be educated. Here's what's best for your patient, and I've got your hand. I'm going to come back and make sure what I recommend, it actually works. Where when I talk to a hospitalist, they want that whole story. You know, they're going to give me more time. Explain to me, Debbie, why we would use this, because I'm used to using that. So there is a different style.
Yes.
And as an antibiotic steward, I have to know that style to be most successful. It's not one style fits all, or as I say, you know, one-stop shopping. You can't do that. Every physician has sort of their own personality style, and you've got to know that type of style to be most effective.
Excellent. This is a fascinating discussion.
It
I look
is.
forward to the next steps.
Thanks.